This video is basically about something that I did that I regret doing, and I have made it right, but I still feel like I should talk about it because it's something that kind of weighed heavily on me for a while there. So my channel is all about open honesty whenever it's possible, and so I feel like I should still share that just so that we're all on the same page. Is this zoomed in? There we go. Okay. Hey guys, thanks for clicking and welcome back to my channel. If you saw that, well, you definitely saw that preview. I'm actually pretty proud of that video, but I couldn't post it for a while because Eli didn't have a bike and I didn't want to rub it in his face that, you know, he doesn't have that bike anymore. So now that he has a bike, I was able to post that video. But it was my first video of that caliber, so I'm pretty proud of it, and hopefully I'll be getting more videos like that made, and especially now that he has a new bike, I'm definitely gonna be making another one of those. But yeah, that's for the future when it's really warm outside and stuff. You probably know that we've been through quite a few bikes. Our first bike that we had, its name was Wasabi. We got it in 2017 when Eli and I were taking our bike class. So we both took our biking class together in 2017. Claymore was really young. He was 1, and my mom watched him while we did the 3-day class to get our license. And while we were doing the class, we saw this bike for sale, so we went and bought it, and we got it, and it was nice. It was a 250, and we named it Wasabi because of the color. And that bike had a lot of stuff that was wrong with it, the seat would literally just fall off and stuff, and but it was a cheaper bike, so we went for that one. The bike had LED lighting underneath it, which was pretty cool to us at the time, but the problem is that it was wired up to the battery without an inline fuse, so it really ran the battery out, and we had a lot of issues with that bike, and we didn't exactly know what the problem was at the time. So we took it for a long distance ride, and it ended up dying on us, and we couldn't bring it back, and we were up in the mountains, and we thought that something was wrong with the carburetor. So when we brought it back, we attempted to clean the carbs by ourselves, and I got carb cleaner in my eye and thought I was gonna go blind, and it was really crazy. It was just a terrible thing. But anyways, we could never get it to start after that, so I just listed it on eBay for $1,800, and somebody came and picked it up. I think they were from Kentucky or something like that, and they just came and bought it and took it away, and they got it working and everything like that. I was like, okay, good. We didn't get another bike for a little bit, and then Eli was missing bikes, so I had Clay, so I couldn't even ride that much. I could only ride on weekends, so it wasn't bothering me that much or anything. But then Eli wanted to get a bike again, so we went and got one from a dealership, which we typically wouldn't have done. It was really expensive. For a 250, it was almost $5,000 after taxes and fees and stuff like that. But we wanted to get a bike that wasn't didn't have a bunch of problems with it. We were just thinking about our safety. So we got that bike. I still have that bike. Its name is Talik, and it's my bike now because Eli thought that he needed something faster, a higher cc. So he got a 300 after that. Oh, and louder, because my bike's pretty quiet, but I do like that feature because loud bikes kind of scare me a little bit. I'm still a noob rider, but I do plan on getting a lot better. I'm going to be practicing in parking lots for the next year because I don't think that I'm ready to go on the road. As far as riding for me, I have had 3 children, and so I've had tons of breaks in between because for me, I've seen people do this, but I'm not gonna get on the bike when I'm 7 months pregnant. So as soon as I basically was around 4 months pregnant, I stopped riding altogether because I just felt I just felt like it wasn't safe, so I stopped riding. And then of course afterwards I was just, you know, a baby tied to my hip, so I'm not riding. I haven't ridden that much since 2017 because since 2017 we've had 2 more kids. So you know, as far as my like comfort level with riding, I still have a lot of work to do. I still feel scared when I get on the bike right now. I actually do love the idea of riding, but for me personally, I feel like I need to like practice a lot more in order for me to feel safe like going on the road on my own and stuff. And I have done it before, back when I was like way like in my prime, when I was like riding. I would ride to work sometimes on my own and like, you know, no problem. But like now I feel like I need a lot of practice, especially because of something that happened that I'm going to tell you in a minute. So we still have Talik, and then Eli went and got a 300, and that was a bike that... So then Eli went and got a 300, and I like helped him buy it because it was like the bike of one of my coworkers who worked at O'Charlie's when I was working at O'Charlie's. I still have to talk to you guys about why I left O'Charlie's, but I feel like there's so many things I have to talk to you about that I haven't. But it's coming, I promise. Okay, so basically, when I was working at O'Charlie's, there was a guy there who had a 300, and he did not own a car, he just owned bikes. So he was gonna sell me the 300, but then he would have no other vehicle. So basically, we had to take him to buy another bike. I bought the other bike for him, and he then like gave the other bike to me, if that makes any sense. I think it probably makes sense. So then we ended up with a 300. That bike's name is Green Hornet, and we had Green Hornet for a really like a decent amount of time. The 300 was my absolute favorite bike. Like I loved how it looked. I loved how they like matched my bike a little bit. Like I loved the green of my bike, Talik, so like I loved how they like fit each other and stuff like that. So then Eli started talking about getting a bike that was like more of a higher power bike. And I was like, okay, like he's going to get rid of this bike or whatever, but it wasn't like the time, you know, financially for us to get a different bike, like because higher bikes are like more expensive and stuff. So we ended up like hanging on to the bike for a while. And then we decided that we wanted to like go for a house that we saw on Zillow, which was also a very stupid decision that I haven't told you guys about, but like it was a super cheap house, and of course it had foundation issues and other things because like some guy tried to like flip the house and did a terrible job at it, and then we were like in a contract that we had to get out of the contract, and then yeah, a lot has happened. But anyways, so we sold that bike really quick, like the Green Hornet, because Eli wanted to get a bigger bike anyway. So I was like, you know, since you're not riding it anyway because you want something bigger, can we sell it? And so he like sold it, and he was very like good about that. And then I was like, you know, if we buy the house, then we can like work really hard and buy another bike when we can. And if it doesn't work out, then, you know, we will buy a bike when we can. So we did what we could, got a down payment, and everything was like good. We only were like $1,000 away from the down payment, and then we needed to back out of the contract because we found out that the house was like really crappy. But anyways, so at that point I felt really, really bad about selling Eli's bike. So we bought another bike, but it was more of a thing where like we didn't research a lot. Like Eli picked this bike because I was like, I don't want to like personally pick your bike for you because like I don't want you to like say that you need a higher torque bike, you know what I'm saying? Like I just want you to like pick a bike that you like, and then we'll go pick it up. So he picked a bike that he liked, and the guy didn't respond to him, so he ended up going with like the second bike that he liked. So we went and drove like an hour and 26 minutes away from where, you know, we are to go get this other bike. And when I like pulled up and saw the bike, I was like, Eli, this bike looks like crap. Like I don't think it looks good, you know? And he was like so excited about the bike that he ended up like going for it anyway, even though the guy was like, the guy really scared me a little bit. He had tattoos all over his head. He had a gun in his pocket, and he was wearing like super baggy like jeans shorts and had a gun inside the pocket of the jeans shorts like hanging out. And I was like, that's kind of like scary. Like it's not even in a holster. Like it can literally go off, and you're riding a motorcycle. Like he rode the motorcycle over to us with a gun in his jeans pocket, and I was just like, like usually like people don't scare me like that, you know. Sometimes people will look a little intimidating if they have tattoos on their head, but once they talk, you're like, oh, this guy's all right, or you know, this girl's all right, or something like that. But like I did not get that, like that heart lifting, this guy's all right vibe after he started talking, and I wanted to like back out. But you know, we had driven an hour and 26 minutes away, and Eli was like super excited about the bike, and so we ended up going through with it and buying it. And I thought that something was wrong with it because, like, I don't know, I'm a little paranoid about vehicles because I drive really old vehicles and I listen very much to like the sounds that they're making. If they're making like a new sound, like I will pick it up right away. And so I'm the same with motorcycles and like other vehicles and stuff like that. So when the bike turned on, it didn't sound strong, like it had a rough idle, and it was making this ticking noise, and I was like, I feel like something is wrong with the bike. But you know, the guy was saying that everything was fine with it and he's a mechanic and this and that. Ooh, that bike was a nightmare because the title was signed in the wrong place. He signed where the buyer was supposed to be signed, and you know, with Corona, like DMV is like so much harder to get into, so like everything was just so much harder with this bike because, you know, I feel like stuff that's meant to be comes like easily. This came so hard. It took us so long to get this bike. We finally got plates on it, and then like a week later, Eli like got into an accident with the bike, and he has never got into a bike accident before, like ever. So he grew up on dirt bikes and he was, you know, riding dirt bikes all the time, and then he got into a bike accident and like actually accident with like hit another car, and he like it was really scary. Like I was not in a good mind frame. Like I was having nightmares. I was not able to sleep because I was afraid of having nightmares. Like if you guys have been on the channel for a long time, you guys know that I lost my brother when I was 17, and I was having nightmares about like every other one of my family members passing away after I lost my brother. And that kind of came back, and I was in a very like rough spot, and I wasn't okay, and I kind of started pushing him away a little bit because I was like, that's kind of just what I do when I'm scared. So it wasn't very good. And I was hoping that he would decide not to ride anymore because, you know, I decided that I wasn't going to ride anymore because I was scared. Like, Eli's the best biker that I've ever known. Like, you know, I don't know anyone else. Hey. Not right now. I'm talking. So, I wasn't in the best frame of mind, and like I said, like Eli's the best biker that I've ever like known. He rides way better than anyone else that I've ever met, and he grew up on dirt bikes, and he has like really good control and handling and all of that stuff. Like he's really inspiring to me when it comes to like riding. Like I'm just like, oh, I want to get as good as him. Like there are a couple things in life that I'm like, I really hope that one day I'll be able to get as good as my husband with those things, like playing Fortnite and riding motorcycles. I feel like there are a couple other things that just aren't on the top of my head right now, but those are two of them. So yeah, after the first accident, like I was really shaken up, and you know, I was hoping that he would decide that he wasn't gonna ride anymore, like on his own, but he didn't, because he's one of those people who falls down and gets back up, which is a good thing. But for me in that moment, it was like one of the worst things that could have happened because the nightmares just got worse and everything. And I didn't share this because I thought that sharing this would be like completely selfish, because I don't ever want to stop somebody from doing something that they love, and he loves riding because of something that I'm dealing with. So I just thought, you know, I'll fix it on my own, I'll take care of it on my own, which is not something that you ever want to do, you know. But I did that, and so had a lot bottled up. Like I had a lot bottled up inside, and so when he started riding again, I was just like completely panicked. And the other thing that didn't help is like when I got the call that he had gotten into an accident, I was sleeping. So I woke up to that call, and that didn't help me because I like associated it with like every time I'm sleeping, which is crazy because like I don't know how to explain it, but like it was just like an association with sleeping. So I couldn't sleep, and when I would sleep, I was afraid that I would get a call or like something, you know, like whenever he would take the bike, like I'd wake up and I'd look outside, and if he took the car, I would like have a sigh of relief, and if the bike was gone, I would be like freaking out if he didn't message me that he had gotten to work okay and stuff. And like he was usually really good about that, but every once in a while he'd forget. And on those days, like my anxiety was like through the roof. Like I remember sometimes calling him, like calling his work phone to try to make sure he was there. And I know that's not okay and that's completely unprofessional, but I was literally like having panic attacks. And yeah, it wasn't really good at all. And then so this one day, by the way, this bike's 600 and its name was Robin. We named it Robin because it was red. So I have a video of us going to pick up Robin, and I will probably post that at some point farther down the line, but I don't know when I would post it right now. But so yeah, so he kept riding. We went to go get the bike checked out, make sure that everything was fine with it, and everything was fine with it. Like a couple pieces that were cosmetic came off, and you know, it looked more ugly and dinged up. The car that he crashed into got like, you know, a hole in the back, I think I have pictures of it and stuff. But you know, everything got worked out. The insurance went up by a little bit, but it wasn't like humongous, which we're very grateful for. And so, you know, a little bit of time went by, and I started to like, you know, feel like more relaxed and stuff. Like he was messaging me when he got to work, and it just seemed like everything was going okay. Like, you know, so I was like, okay, I can focus, I can get back on. And I was trying to like push my depression and my like anxiety like away and try to like move on with my life. This is a lot of the time when I wasn't posting, I was not doing okay. This was a lot of the time when I wasn't like posting on YouTube because of like reasons like this. So I was getting back to like being able to sleep okay, like, you know, like I was starting to like, you know, relax and be like, okay, this was like a one-time thing, like he's gonna be more careful and stuff like that. And like the person who checked out the bike, you know, checked the bike out and said that everything's fine. So I was like, okay, maybe I just don't know anything about bikes, and maybe I just am paranoid and everything's fine. So I just started to relax, and I was sleeping. One morning I slept in. I was still, so he would leave for work like early in the morning, and I would still be sleeping, the boys would still be sleeping. So I was sleeping again one morning, and he comes back in the house, and he's got like bruises, like actually bleeding like on his leg, and like his side, and like he's just like got some bruises, like, and I was just like tearing up, like I was trying so hard not to cry. Like I was like, this is what happens when I like let my guard down, you know, like something happens. And like basically he was going down a road, and he gave the bike some gas and it wouldn't go, and then all of a sudden it completely kicked and tumbled him down the road, and he got like bruises and stuff. And it was really, really scary, and I was completely freaked. And the shifter of the bike got came off. The shifter of the bike just came off like 100%, like just broke off. And I was like, I freaked out, and I completely panicked, and I was like, that's it, like I don't want you riding anymore, like I can't. I just like, I already was at the point, like at the first accident, I was like freaking out. When he decided that he wanted to ride again, that day I got us like accident insurance, because I was like, you know, right now he's the only one working. The only mode of income that I have is eBay, and you know, like that was it at the time. Like selling stuff that I bought at like a clearance price on eBay at the time was like all the money that I was making. So I was like, you know, and then I was just starting up our serum at the time, but like, you know, we were like not making any sales at the time because we were just starting up. And I was like, you know, if something happens to you, I won't be able to do anything, because I will just be like not even able to like pick myself up off the floor. and I'm not making any money, and so our whole family life would completely crumble and we wouldn't have you. And I was like, you know, like, I think that we need to get some life insurance. And we were literally denied life insurance when we applied for it, so that was like disturbing. But they did apply us for accident insurance, so if we get into an accident, there's that, which, you know, is better than nothing, but having life insurance would ultimately be better. It was like an income bracket thing, which is weird because I mean, it doesn't make sense that, like, if you can pay for life insurance, I feel like you should be able to get it. But, like, the people who need life insurance the most, I feel like, are they not eligible for it? Like, it's just strange, you know? So, anyways, that happened. So after the second accident, I was, like, freaking out, and I was like, look, you know, your life is, like, just because we have life insurance doesn't mean that, or accident insurance doesn't mean that I'm okay with, like, losing you. I don't care about the money. Like, you mean much more to me. I don't want our kids growing up without their father. And, like, I just panicked, and I was like, I am literally just selling your bike. Like, I want it gone. It was like I couldn't breathe correctly until it was not in the driveway anymore. And so I listed it on eBay I listed it on Facebook Marketplace for parts, and I sold it to this guy. He came and picked it up and sold it for way less than it was worth, but I just wanted it gone. It was like, I was not okay. And then the moment that it got sold and it was like getting hauled out of the driveway, I was like, okay, we're safe, everything's fine, you know? And yeah, it was a really rough time, and I was wrong to do that. I was completely wrong, and I didn't see that in the moment because I thought I was doing the right thing for us, and I thought I was doing the right thing for our family, but I wasn't, because you don't own your family. Like, just because your family is your family doesn't mean that you can control what they do and make decisions for them. And even though Eli wasn't mad at me and he understood, like, why I did that, it still wasn't right. And so you know, I, like, saw how he was looking at bikes whenever they would go by. It was just like, whoa, like, he was just like so enamored with them, you know, and like sad that he didn't have one. And like, I still have my bike in the driveway, and I haven't used it at all since he got in the accidents and stuff, and he hasn't used it at all either. But you know, so the other day we were going back. We're coming back home from Virginia Beach, and I've been thinking about this for a while, like the fact that I wasn't right to just, you know, be like, I'm selling your bike, like, I don't want it here anymore, like, I just need, you know. And I was like, you know, he should have his bike back, and I don't want him to do something that I don't want to stop him. Like, I don't ever want to stop him from doing something that he wants to do and something that he loves just because I'm afraid. And the reality of everything is the fact that when your time comes, your time kind of comes, you know, and it doesn't have to be on a motorcycle. Like, you could just be walking down the street and something could happen to you. And I feel like that would make me sick to my stomach if something, you know, like, I would not be okay ever if something happened to him on the bike. But what would make me even worse not okay is me stopping him from riding a bike and something happens to him that is not bike related, that, you know, injures him or takes him. And so I was like, I am definitely not going to, like, you know, get in the way of him doing this anymore. And so I was thinking about, like, having him ride again. And I talked about everything with him, talked about my, like, feelings and how I was, like, scared and stuff like that. And then, like, I don't know, after talking to him, like, the fear kind of, like, left. And, you know, he was telling me that he thought that something was wrong with the bike too, but he was just so excited about it that he didn't want to say anything about it because he didn't want to, you know, lose it, which is dangerous. And so we both agreed that we'd be more careful with the next bike, and we also agreed that he would have to wear, like, full gear with the next bike, like he wouldn't be riding it without full gear, because like, you know, your chances of everything are so much better when you have full gear on. Before, we would wear like gloves and helmets, and I would always wear my jacket, but he would always be like, you know, it's too hot to wear the jacket, so sometimes he wouldn't wear his jacket. He would just wear a shirt and like jeans and his boots, and that made me not so happy, because like I feel like, you know, bruises wouldn't have happened with the roll down, well, not bruises, but like the actual cuts wouldn't have happened, like the blood, if he was wearing a full gear. So that makes me like a lot more comfortable. And the other day we went and bought a motorcycle, and it is also a 600, and I'm not going to show you guys yet because that's going to be like a future video. But so now Eli has a bike, and I feel more relieved because I don't feel like I'm controlling or like stopping him from doing something that he loves. And at the same time, I've like, you know, kind of like prayed about it, and I have more of a peace than I had before, and I'm not like anxious about it. Like still, you know, DMV is like backed up and we haven't gotten to put plates on it and stuff, but he did ride it all the way like almost 2 hours to home. And you know, while we were riding, I was getting more and more comfortable. Like I wasn't riding, I was driving the car, but yeah, I was getting more and more comfortable as he was riding behind me, and I was just like, you know, like feeling more confident. This bike is really healthy, and it was sold to us by an actual mechanic, and he and his wife are very nice people, very cool people. Like I haven't exactly met people like this before, and I'm really happy to have met them, and I feel like they could be like lifelong friends and stuff. And yeah, we had an interesting ride back, which Eli and I will probably tell you in a story together, but this is like, you know, what's up. And I felt like this was the right time to share this video because we did a family update when we went on vacation, like last week or the week before that. Time kind of runs together for me, but yeah, a couple stuff came up in the family update video that Eli like wanted to share, and I didn't feel like it was right to share all of that without me sharing this first. So yeah, we have 2 motorcycles now. I haven't ridden mine yet, but we both got full gear. Well, I have a jacket, and my like pants is yet to come in because it's very hard to find extra small pants for a motorcycle person, for a woman. So yeah, so he has full gear, and my dad and he are like matching now, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so the bike's over there, and I'm still gonna be practicing in parking lots. And honestly, I just want to see like if I still like riding, because like back in high school, I remember like really wanting to have a motorcycle, and now that I have a motorcycle, I don't have time to ride it. And I feel like I need to definitely build up my skill level. Like the fact that whether there was something wrong with the bike or not, the fact that 2 accidents have happened with Eli, it kind of brought my confidence down a lot and made me feel like, wow, I really need to up my skill with it and practice my maneuvers and my braking and my everything, to make sure that I'm where I need to be. Because people with motorcycles, they drive very carelessly, and they will cut over in front of you, they will drive too closely behind you, they will run you off the road and not see you or act like they don't see you. So you know, that's something that you need to be prepared for all the time. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now. And that's kind of like a long spiel of stuff, but yeah, we have a new bike in the house, and we'll be letting you know soon what it is and everything like that. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye. Please don't forget to like and subscribe as well, and tap that notification bell. Thanks for watching, and see you soon. More videos come, so please stay tuned.